What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Check Swing Podcast with myself. Of course, the brains and brawn of the situation, my man Coach Santa over there. Looking for good crab cake. I know there's plenty of places down there where you can get good crab cake.
I actually just went to a place this past weekend
In Baltimore?
in Baltimore. So, me and a friend of mine, we went to a place. I got confused as far as the location because I thought that she meant one place, but she meant another. So I drove 25 minutes into the city, but the place was actually 8 minutes from my house. So
that sucks. Let me do this correctly. I did this wrong. Welcome back to the Check Swing Podcast with myself, my man Coach Santa, who's down in
Baltimore, having big fun.
Down there in Baltimore. The Baltimore sports scene is crazy right now with the Ravens, and I guess that's it. I guess that's it. The only other team they're rooting for down there is University of Maryland. So yeah, the Baltimore scene is crazy, but we're not here to talk about the Baltimore scene, even though it might get mentioned at some point during the show. We're here to talk about the Philadelphia scene and what's going on in the Philadelphia scene. But before we get into all that, we do have a video. Now you have two things up, Coach Santa. Which one am I? One looks like there's a football field, and the other one does not look like that.
we're doing the football field one because I'll play it from my computer.
Okay, so here we go. I'm going to put in this video, and Coach Santa is going to allow us to enjoy it.
Yeah.
Here we go.
Pickens all day. Ooh. Floats that one up into triple coverage, intercepted by the Irish. Has some running room, 45. Gets across it.
Oh, my goodness.
Oh, gosh.
My goodness.
I think he fumbled. The Brooklyn Academy has it. My goodness. They're going to take a look at it, and we'll stop for just a second.
You okay over there?
I'm sorry. I was trying to get the video out. Wrong stuff. I was trying to get the video out. Well, he got lit up. You got to have your head on swivel.
Yeah, so this was a game. I'm not sure what state, but it was Brentwood Academy versus Father Ryan. I didn't know how it was a legal hit because there was no flags thrown on the play, but I'm glad there were no flags on the play.
It's got to be a legal hit, right? I mean, he's not a defenseless.
He's not defenseless. Literally, the guy had like a 15-yard head start on his butt.
As the ball carrier, you got to be.
Got to look both the ways.
It's not like he came out of nowhere. We saw him coming. We saw him coming. Obviously, he did.
We all saw him coming.
Sheesh. That's a good football hit. That's a good. Yes. I'm gonna give him one more. Damn. That was a good football hit. But speaking of football, we're here in Philadelphia. We have a team that's doing pretty well. One of the better records in the NFL right now. I think the best record is actually held by the Indianapolis Colts at 6-1, I believe. A big surprise there. I don't think anybody thought they were going to see the Colts at 6-1 at this point in the season, but they are, especially with Daniel Jones at quarterback. We know what he was doing in New York, but in Indy, he's doing his thing. So that means, I think you mentioned it last week, Miguel. They got rid of Saquon. They let Saquon out of there. He goes on to win the Super Bowl. Last year, they traded Daniel Jones, and now he's got the best record in the NFL.
The Giants,
and not only that, they lost to the Eagles on Sunday.
And not only that, they lost their rookie wide receiver to a very, very hideous ankle injury that dislocated.
That was nasty.
So they said the injury actually it was worse off, and he had to have emergency surgery because it was a compound fracture that went through the skin.
Ooh.
So They said it was they didn't use the word broken tibia, but they said it was like broken, dislocated, and inverted. It was something crazy. But he has to have emergency surgery. They said the recovery should be okay. He should be ready by the start of next season, midway next season. But it was pretty tough.
It was now. I was actually watching the game. My daughter had a regatta this weekend, so I was watching the game down by the riverside.
Down
And
by the riverside.
yes, indeed. And I was watching on my iPad, and ooh, when I saw it, because usually I can watching it and I'll miss that stuff. I won't catch it, and then sometimes they won't show it again. I was watching. I saw this one. I missed it when Moise Salud when that happened to him.
Oh yeah, the ankle. Yeah,
I wasn't really old enough when it happened to Joe Theismann or Theismann, however you want to pronounce it. I wasn't really old enough to remember that when that happened. Um, and then there was the Louisville basketball player in March Madness a few years back when he landed and his bone went through his. I think I was watching that game and didn't catch it. Like I saw the injury happen, but I didn't catch the gruesomeness on TV. But this one I did.
And shout out to Big Dom from the Eagles, who actually went to the hospital, got him a whole slew of like Philly foods, cheesesteaks, hoagies, and stuff like that. What's his name? Scatterbutt, Skittlebutt.
Crazy thing is, Miguel, I was hoping the Eagles would draft him. I'm not a big college football consumer like I used to be, but I saw him play against two. I think I saw him play in the. He went to Arizona State, I believe, and whatever conference they're in now. I don't know. They changed it so much. I saw him play in the conference championship game, and he was dominant.
Mm-hmm.
And then I saw him play I think it was a playoff game against Texas, I believe, last year, and he played well. He played well, and I was like, "Yo, that's the new Mike Allstott right there."
See, but enter in Big Dom. See, this is the strategery of Big Dom. He did all that not just because he's injured. It's a nice thing to do, but he's like, hey, you need someplace else to go. Look what happened with Saquon. You know what I mean? Like, come on, join us when the time is right.
Him and Jackson Dart are bosom buddies right now, but we know AJ and Jalen were bosom buddies at one point too. We'll get into that a little later. But speaking of the Eagles and Big Dom and all those guys, they are 6-2 now, headed into the bye. A couple weeks ago, it felt like the sky was falling around the Eagles. They lost 2 games in a row. I think it was to the Giants. One was to the Giants, the other one was to the Broncos. First Broncos, then Giants. And it just felt like the sky was falling. They won't figure it out. They don't know. And then now they've won 2 in a row to go into the bye. How are you feeling about this team right now after seeing what you saw against the Giants? Now, let's keep in mind it was the Giants. They did bring the belts last time we played them. Mm-hmm. The Giants bought the belts to the Eagles last time. We bought the belts to them this time. You're feeling on the Eagle. I might be feeling good because I see you got on your Eagles paraphernalia.
It was the next part of the rotation in my laundry, so it just happened to be that way.
It just so happened to be that way.
Right. Truth be told, I liked what I saw, especially without AJ Brown. Because of course the first thought is, "Oh, we're not going to have the passing game," and and they had a passing game, and then finally Saquon broke free. What was it like? Something like 15 carries for like 150 yards again against the Giants or whatever.
Best day of the season.
Yeah. So I mean, this happens to us every couple years. We always, crap the bed in the beginning. We work some things out, then we have it flown. But it's gonna be a test because we got the Packers next, and then I can't remember who else. Oh, we have Packers and then the Lions back to back. So it'll be a test. I like where we're going. I like where we're heading. So we'll see. What I want to. I want to gauge a little bit more. See what happens in the next three games with or without AJ Brown, and go from there. But I like what I've seen the last 2 weeks.
So I can't disagree with anything you just said. I also like what I saw this past weekend. Um, I felt like the Vikings was. I felt like that game was a mixture of many things that led to that win. Um, good plays by us playing. Eagles playing well. Carson playing terrible. And of course, in both games, a couple calls go the other way, we would be mad. Um, but I tell you what, it feels like it's starting to feel like they're riding that ship, right? Last year there were two losses in a row last year, if I'm not mistaken, and they came back from the bye and had it figured out, and they kind of got it rolling. The year before that, was there two? Were they two in a row the year before that, or was it one win, one loss, one win, one? I think it was one, 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 one. The year that Saquon, no, last year was the year it was two in a row. The year before that, when they went to the Super Bowl, they reeled off like 10 straight.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Okay. Um, so I feel like as a fan base, we want that, right? We want that 10 straight, 7 straight, 8 straight, whatever it was. We want that all the time. And that is not common. It's not common. Um, there's a reason why there's only been one undefeated Super Bowl champion in NFL history. There's a reason for that. And it felt like the last team that could have been that, they just didn't make it happen because that team really should have did that. That team should have made it happen. That Patriots team of Randy Moss on there, Tom Brady and Randy Moss in the same team.
How did that not happen? Right.
How did that not happen? How did that not happen? Um, but continuing with the Eagles, they made a trade today. Now, everybody was under the speculation that AJ Brown is going to get traded by next Tuesday's trade deadline. But they made a trade today, and they traded John Minchie, wide receiver John Minchie, who they just traded for earlier this season. And I believe they traded I forgot what the pick was that they traded for him. But anyway, they traded him for cornerback Michael Carter from the Jets, who was starting for the Jets. Not a whole lot of statistics. I never really look at cornerback statistics, but I did today just to see what was going on. But the statistics for this year, 9 solo tackles, 2 pass defenses. And that's pretty much it. Excuse me. No forced fumbles, no interceptions. Um, and Miguel, I don't know what you might know about this guy, but is he going to come in and be a starter for this team, or is he just another guy? And it's hard. I know it's going to be kind of hard to answer that because they got to be able to work it within Fangio's system. So I'm not doubting that he can be a starter in the league, but will he start for this team above what we need started over right now?
So it looks like he when he was with the Jets, he was the starting slot corner, which is what we need. And it'll allow him to be kind of in that rotation with the secondary, which is another need.
Isn't that Cooper DeJean's position?
Yeah, but when who was injured between Adoree and then there was another defensive back that got hurt.
Mm-hmm.
He was kind of rotating in and out. Right.
Okay. Right.
So he was a 2-year starter at Alabama, the Texans. He came from the Texans, 44th pick. He's on the last year of a rookie deal, which included a $3 million signing bonus. And the Eagles special, he's working his way back from an ACL tear.
And he has one of my favorite. He's also dealing with one of my favorite injuries. He's got a back issue.
There you go. Which, yeah. His rookie season, he was diagnosed with leukemia, and he recovered from that. And after the season, he becomes an unrestricted free agent. We'll see. Like you said, we got to see if he can fit in the system. He's he was also, remember how the Joe Douglas was the GM for the Jets. He actually was the one that um, acquired him while he was general manager for the Jets. So I'm sure he came in highly recommended. So I mean, that's the basics of him. I don't know what else there is. I mean, it's the Jets. They don't win.
Yeah, the
We'll
Jets
see.
have. Wow. We will see. It's going to be interesting to see because we know the Eagles have a need for another corner. Why they let Isaiah Rodgers get out of town after they allowed Darius Slay to get out of town, I don't know.
Well, allegedly they did make a pitch for Isaiah Rodgers, but he just chose either
Chose
a
not.
better deal or a different deal or whatever.
I feel like Isaiah Rodgers wouldn't have cost that much, but it is what it is. They got guys that are going to need to get paid soon. Jalen Carter, probably Jordan Davis, Quinyon Mitchell in a couple years, Cooper DeJean in a couple years. They got some guys that's going to get they're going to need to get paid.
Yeah.
I said we would talk about it briefly. I want to talk. I only want to talk about it briefly. I really don't want to put a whole lot of energy in it because I don't feel like it. I don't feel like the energy it's already getting is deserved. Okay, but AJ Brown, there are new reports coming out, Miguel, that you came across from, I believe it was Diana Rossini,
We're seeing you.
ESPN, I believe.
Yeah.
What go ahead, Miguel. I'm gonna give you the floor so you can let us know what these reports are.
So Diana Rossini is, reporting that she said that she's been told that there's an issue with AJ Brown allegedly doing drugs.
Cocaine is a hell of a drug.
Not speculating.
Not speculating. Which is causing locker room concerns. So the source continues to say that the Eagles are actually exploring rehab options for AJ Brown as well as a trade package. But nothing has been set yet. And this comes on the heels of another tweet from AJ Brown on the Thrill of Football. And it says, I know everybody's counting on me. That's my thrill. I don't do drugs, but that has to be what drugs feel like.
So basically, sounds like he's saying he did say I don't do drugs. I guess so. It sounds like he's countering the report. But what I find interesting in the report is if it has been put out there
Yeah.
that they're searching for rehab options as well as trade packages, you just messed up your trade options. If that has been put out there, because who's going to give you something valuable for somebody valuable with a possible drug problem?
But maybe that's the play, Nobody's gonna want him, so we put this out there, and then we can kind of work on him, fix him, make him better, and then he'll be the best player for us. It's a selfish thing to do, but unlike what they did with, remember, the great Chris Carter when Buddy Ryan traded him, and they said he used the
They trade
excuse
him
of,
or did they cut him?
no, they
I
cut
thought
him. I apologize, they did cut him.
Chris Carter.
And remember, Buddy Ryan famously said all he can do is catch touchdowns, you know. But I think Chris Carter came out like I think 5 or 6 years after he retired and was on ESPN as an analyst and like cried and said like Buddy Ryan saved my life because he was addicted and he didn't blast him on media. He did what he did, and that
Yeah,
changed his life.
because he was doing drugs.
Right.
AJ said he was not. He does not. So we shall see. It's going to be interesting. The Eagles have a bye. The trade deadline is next Tuesday, so we'll have to keep an eye on what's happening and keep you guys posted on it. While we're at it, let me just get through the particulars. You can hit us up on the phone lines at 669-275-0548. That's the number to call. Or, of course, you can hit us on our text line. And I have some text on our text line from last week and throughout the week. You get us throughout the week. You can text us. Text us at 484-606-0661. 484-606-6061. I said it right. Okay. It always feels like I'm saying it wrong. Got to get a new number. And of course, make sure you follow us on IG. Check Swing Podcast on IG. All that information is down in the bottom screen, just in case you missed any of it. Oh yeah, follow us on New Twist Radio too. Before we move on, we got another video for you, or Miguel has another video for you. Mm-hmm. So I'm going to go ahead and.
So I wasn't going to ask you the question, but I think even with the caption, I can. So go ahead and put it up on the screen.
All right. So remember, I'm going to have to put it up and then take it back down to give you my answer.
Okay. So all right. So the caption says "Bros never having kids." So what do you think is going to happen based on what you said?
Let me see. Sorry, I forgot that fast. So I don't think I'm not sure if I've seen this video before. If I have, I don't remember exactly what happens. So I'm just going to make a guess. I was trying to see if he had any weights on because obviously he's sitting on a weight bench. Mm-hmm. And I don't know if he's about to do some leg extensions or if he's about to, hit the bench. But I'm going to assume he's doing leg extensions, and one of two things is going to happen. He does the leg extensions too far, the weights fall on his lap, or maybe like a dog or something jumps on his crotchety crotch, and while he's trying to do the bench press or something. So I'm going to go ahead and put the video in, and we'll find out if I'm right.
All right.
No pain, no gain.
The look on your face when that initially happened. Oh, God. I can't hear you. I can't hear you.
Sorry. Now I've lost the emotion of what I said. Because it was the pole. Like, why do you not have weights on the leg extension? Maybe you're doing some type of rehab or something. But he said, go get mama nuts popped. Can your nuts pop?
I heard they can twist.
I've heard they can twist. I know somebody that has happened to. But, I feel bad for that young boy. I kind of want to stop the show right now because I'm kind of hurting. Kind of. First of all, you get one of these too.
You big dummy.
You get one of those.
How do you give a kid that popped his nuts a big dummy?
In the famous words of Brett Favre, because I can.
Touche.
Because you decided to swing the leg extension bar all the way around and popped yourself in the nuts. First time I've seen somebody that probably should have been wearing a cup while doing leg extensions. But it is what it is. Let's.
I know. Yo, when I first saw that, I was like, I was leaning into my chair, like I had both my knees with my elbows, like, oh my God.
So I definitely, I don't think I saw that video before. Okay. Let's move on. It's kind of difficult to move on, but let's move.
be all right. Uh-oh.
Coach, can you hear me?
Loud and clear.
All right. Well, jeez, Christmas. I don't know what the heck is going on around here with this. I hope I don't need a new computer because
Probably do.
this computer just left me for a while. And right now my camera's not working. I gotta figure something out. I don't know why my camera's not working. Something went haywire over here, coach. Oops.
Are you in danger? Blink twice.
Nah, I'm not. I don't think I'm in danger. I don't know. But we want to thank you for hanging with us through the technical difficulties. I'm gonna see if I can I might have to I gotta figure something out. But let me see. I might be able to use my phone as a camera. Let me see.
There you go. Did you try? Do you? Is it an external cam or is it embedded into your laptop?
It is an external camera,
Oh,
and I don't know. I don't know what happened. Like I'm not even getting. I might as well take this camera out of my face right now because I can't see. You can't see me. I can't see you. But the show must go on. So what we were about to get into, what I was about to say before I was so rudely interrupted. Oh, hold on, wait a minute. I might have the camera back.
uh, uh,
Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. There it is. There it is. All right, hold on. Let me get myself situated before I
dun,
get back on
dun,
camera. Get
dun,
all the
dun,
boogers out.
dun,
Though.
dun, dun, dun.
All the boogers out. Here we
There
go.
you go. Poof.
I'm back. All right. Thank you. Thank you for hanging with us through the technical difficulties. You know, I don't know. It's live, y'all. It's what happens when you're live. But before we were so rudely interrupted by the technical difficulties, I was going to say that the Sixers, the Philadelphia 76ers, your team, your town, your 76ers, are an impressive 4-0 to start the basketball season right now. They won last night in overtime in Washington, D.C. Not too far from where Miguel is, because y'all know Miguel is in.
Baltimore, having big fun.
And it's about 45-minute ride, if that, right? But anyway, they start off 4-0, and for the first time in probably a while, Embiid has not been the focus of this team. Miguel,
Sir.
the Sixers are 4-0
Mhm.
for the first time since the Iverson era, in which they are honoring the Iverson era finals team this year. As if you saw us last week, you know we spoke on that. Miguel, we know your relationship and your feelings with the NBA and the Sixers. At 4-0, starting the season 4-0, are you interested or intrigued at all with the Sixers yet?
Absolutely not. And it's listen. It's no offense to the Sixers. No, it is an offense to the Sixers, and
I
I think what it is because of how they've run the organization. The owner is a joke. They've allowed. I don't like the leader that Embiid was allowed to become, and I think there was just a lot left on the table. You know what I mean?
mm-hmm.
Um, just between the immaturity and there's certain things that I believe at this age you should be past. And again, it could just be
How old is he? How old is Embiid?
what is he, like 92?
I'll look it up while you're saying what you know. I'll look it
But yeah, but you know, it sounds like from people in our circle that they were really impressed with the four wins and how they look cohesive. They looked, they didn't look flat like they have in the past, and they're doing it with less Embiid. You know what I mean?
up.
And I don't know. It's like he's been your franchise. He's been your face for how many years since Simmons left, and are they going to win now that they're going to play him less? Is he now
I
that
don't.
type
I
of
don't
player?
think it's going to be. I don't. It's. I don't think this is a. He's on a 20-minute a night minutes restriction right now. I don't think that's going to last the entire season. I think they're working him into.
Right,
I mean,
but it's
you
like
don't play. There's no. However you feel about him, I don't want to say personally. I know you don't know him personally, but however you feel about him, his play off, who he is off the court and preparing to be on the court. A talent like Embiid is not 20 minutes a night ain't going to do it. And I think you can agree with me with that. If he is your best player, which he probably is still, 20 minutes a night ain't going to do it. But right now, it's 20 minutes a night. I didn't mean to cut you off and let you continue. He's 31 years old, by the way.
right. Yeah, and he's been talking about him not being thrilled about the short stints, and he's not thrilled about the load management, which was created by the Sixers, by the way.
No,
Who was it created by?
it was created by the Spurs. When
During the
the Tim
what
Duncan days during Greg Popovich, he would
was it?
he would purposely sit guys out during. I actually went to a game during the process when the Sixers were playing the Spurs, and he sat Tim Duncan, Tony Parker, and Kawhi Leonard. I think Manu Ginobili was the only one that played.
Do you think it was effective?
Do I, well, I think it was probably. I mean, probably because let's put it in this perspective, right? And put your coach's hat on. You remember what the Sixers were during the process. There you go, coach's hat. You remember what the Sixers were during the process days when they were supposedly tanking, right?
Supposedly.
I mean, well, they were tanking. I don't know why I said supposedly because they never said they were tanking, right? But or the ownership was tanking, the players were not. Would you play your star players against that Sixers team, knowing that you can beat them without playing your star players? And if you do, you probably aren't playing them the entire game.
I don't know. It kind of speaks to, I guess, a bigger issue with the league because then it caught on. Now everybody does it, so it's like
Yeah.
then they institute like certain. Didn't they institute a rule about that about
So
managing or purposely sitting guys?
I believe so. That you know what I had to look into that and kind of bring it back to you next week. But what they did was they did like with injury reports and stuff like that. But what they kind of did was they made it so you're not eligible to win the MVP unless you play 65 games.
That's right. That's right. It was the minimum of the yeah. That's what it
Minimum
was.
65 games. Which
Okay.
personally, and I know probably a lot of people would agree, but I think you would disagree with me. Personally, I feel like that is kind of high for a standard because that basically means you can only miss 17 games if my math is right. Which you shouldn't miss any games.
Right.
But we know during a season you roll an ankle, you're out for a week. And you can roll an ankle easily. If you miss 20 games, but you were obviously the best player of the season of that season. Like that's personally I would make it 50 to 55 games personally.
Right.
50 to 55 games. That's more than half the season.
This speaks to something that's been nagging and gnawing at me, right? I read this article in one of the baseball magazines about a year ago where they were talking about Tommy John injuries have increased with high school kids 465% in the last 5 years, which basically means that at least your entire staff has had some sort of repair or damage done to their pitching end.
Mm-hmm.
Then there's rehabilitation, and then there's all these things. certain injuries have increased in football and stuff like that. With modern medicine, it just seems like players are getting more breaks, but they're still getting just as injured, or they're missing as much playing time, but not for the serious injuries.
I have a theory on that. And it goes for just about every sport except for probably football.
Does it rhyme with?
No,
Never mind. Go ahead. I'm sorry. It was what I said pre-show, but I won't. I won't agree with
it
the show.
doesn't. No, it doesn't. My theory is beginning at a younger age, these athletes are playing their sport a whole lot more.
True.
A whole lot more. I can remember, and Miguel, you probably can remember too. There was a time in Little League, in like Little League World Series, and that whole thing, where you were not allowed to throw curveballs and
Yes.
break balls. They're 12, 13 years old.
Right.
Now they do, and they do it a lot.
Right.
And you know, you started off this by saying it's an increase in high school.
Mm-hmm.
That's because they're wearing their arms out as youngins. And I'll tell you, when I have my clients that I train and they pitch and they're younger, um, I tell them stay away from curveballs and sliders because that's how I didn't tear my arm up or anything like that, but I felt it. And like I used to throw tennis balls a lot, and I would throw curveballs and tennis and sliders with the tennis ball, and I kind of damaged my arm a bit doing that because then you go and do it with a baseball and it's heavier and you're trying to do the same things and all like that. So I tell the young kids, I say, stay away from that. I actually personally in high school, if they don't know how to throw a curveball or slider, if they're a freshman, sophomore, I'm not even showing them. Or I might show them and just tell them stay away from it. But once you show a kid that, they're going to try to do it all the time.
Right.
I teach them the split finger pitch, and I teach them the cutter and the changeup. 3 pitches, so that's 4 pitches. Everybody has a fastball, whether you have a fastball or not. You got your fastball, your changeup, your cutter, your splitter. 4 pitches that do not damage the arm,
Well, and
or
even,
a lot of wear and tear on the arm.
right, and even with a fastball, you can throw a 2-seam, a 4-seam.
Exactly.
With a change up, you can do a straight change or a circle change, and literally it's just positioning of fingers and maybe like how you throw the pitch.
The
So
only, yeah, go ahead.
yeah. So it's like different variations of one pitch because even with a curveball, you can throw a curveball that slides. You can throw a curveball that's like 12-6. You get so there's different variations of just one pitch, and I think. For me personally, it seems like yes, there's more games that they're playing because I think there was when I first started to coach for the one organization when I first came down here. This was middle school going into high school. This was what 8th, 9th grade. They started in February and they played all the way up through August, September, and then on top of that they had fall ball. You know what I mean? So I think it's a good thing that Major League Baseball is instituting that dead period from October 15th to like January 15th, where no scouts can look at kids at the high school level because they need to rest. I think that's the bigger issue now is that they're playing more games, they're doing it for exposure, but they're killing themselves because of exposure. You know what I mean? Like they're
I wonder if other sports like the NBA, because people play basketball all year round,
right.
and all these AAUs and they play basketball all year round, and then they get to college and they tear something in their knee, or as soon as they get to the league they tear something because they're playing. If you count preseason and playoffs, you're playing over 100 games in
It's
the.
crazy.
That's a lot of games.
Well, and the other thing is too is when you're playing for multiple teams, a lot of players and parents don't tell the other coach from the other team. So I had a situation where I was down on pitchers, so my organization helped me find a couple players from some of the lower teams. So I had this kid come out. I said, "Can you start? Can you relieve? What can you do?" He said, "I can start. I can start." I was like, "Great." This game was on a Saturday. After 2 innings, he said, "Coach, I'm done." I'm like, "You're done? You only threw 40 pitches." He's like, "Yeah, I forgot to tell you. On Thursday, I threw 98." I'm like,
Oh,
"You shouldn't even be throwing today. Like, what are you doing?" So
yeah, that was always
it's
frustrating.
crazy, absolutely crazy.
So to bring it back to where to the Sixers, um, you're talking about Embiid, and Embiid has not been really been the focus. He's been playing 20 minutes a night, and
Mhm.
one of the bright spots, two bright spots. I got to mention both these guys.
It's a maxi.
Maxi has scored 40 points in 2 games, and I want to say last night he scored like 38, 39 points. Like he almost scored 40 points in 3 of the 4 games this season. And then the rookie that they selected third overall this past year, VJ Edgcomb, has been a bright spot for the Sixers as well. And I feel like, and it's early. I know it's early, and you know me, Miguel. I'm that guy that I'd say it on this show. Season don't start till Christmas. Season don't start till Christmas. All this preseason for real. But they do have the NBA Cup, I think, starting Friday. But this kid VJ Edgecomb, I feel like he is the guy that they have been trying to draft, or excuse me, I feel like he's the guy that they've been trying to have on their team since they were trying to find a running mate for Allen Iverson. And the reason I say that he's a this young kid, man. And basketball players will can understand what I'm saying. I hope, because I'm not a basketball player, so I'm hoping I'm sounding smart. He'll take you off the dribble, going left, going right, both with exciting speed that people cannot stay in front of. That's a problem. He gets an open lane, he's dunking the ball. Where a lot of guys his size might be, laying it up. He's dunking the ball, and he might dunk the ball with 2 hands. Going up with two is difficult. Not that I'm a dunker and I've been dunking, but I do know going up for a dunk with 1 hand and going up with two is definitely different. He will dunk on you with 2 hands. He'll go after it, and he can work the outside. So I feel like they wanted that with Andre Iguodala, where with the Sixers, Andre Iguodala's jump shot was pretty. It was kind of broke from the outside. Some of the guys they drafted, some of the names I forgot, but Rodney Carney, I feel like, was a guy that the Sixers drafted to be that guy. They had KJ Martin here to kind of be that guy. They drafted the kid from Villanova, Mikal Bridges, and traded him to Phoenix for a guy from Texas. I'm trying to Ish. I think his name is Ish Smith. I forgot what his no, it wasn't Ish. I forgot his name. I don't even think he's in the league anymore. Actually, I'm pretty positive he's not in the league anymore. To be that guy, he never really became that guy. Kind of thought maybe Ben Simmons might be that kind of guy. We kind of know what happened with Ben Simmons, right? Jimmy Butler would have been that guy. Matter of fact, Miguel, he reminds me of a young Jimmy Butler, a younger Jimmy Butler. He kind of reminds me of that.
So
Jimmy Butler seems like he's a little bigger than him, but he kind of reminds me of that.
I see he has the confidence because he's quoted as saying, "With the big fella back out there, I think we're going to win the chip." If you ask me, I don't care what anyone got to say, though.
Slow down, young fella. You ain't been in the league long. You ain't been in the league long. You ain't seen Steph. You ain't seen Brian. I know I played against these guys in the summer stuff, but you haven't seen Ja Morant. You haven't seen what's my man that went play for Villanova, Brunson. You haven't seen Brunson yet. Hold on, big fella. Hold on, young fella. But what I will say is, I think this team complements Joel Embiid quite a bit from the way that they play Joel Embiid, the way Joel Embiid has been playing since he became a Sixer. Um, with him playing outside, and I know people hate him being out of 3-point line, but with him playing outside and that draws a defender out, it opens it up for Maxey and Edgecomb and different guys, Quentin Grimes and some of these other guys, to actually go to the bucket. Right, you did have that with Ben Simmons where he would go to the bucket. He wouldn't shoot a jumper, but he would go to the bucket. Jimmy Butler would go to the bucket. James Harden would go to the bucket. Now it seems like they got a few guys around him. I didn't say this last week, Miguel, because I haven't seen enough, and I still haven't seen enough. But I feel like this is probably the best collection of guys around Embiid to complement his game, the way they play him, not the way that he should be playing, but the way they play him. It complements the game because you got outside shooters, you got guys can drive to the bucket. I think them having all this at one time now is a good compliment to his game. When they do ramp up the minutes for him, they'll probably ramp it up next to like 25 minutes, 24, 25 minutes, and then probably 28 to 30 or something like that until he gets back to 40. But I don't think that with this team, I don't think he'll have to play 40 minutes a night. I don't think he will have to. And as you see early on, he hasn't, and they've been winning. Let us know what you think before we move on. I got to go to the. I did say I was going to bring up the text messages we received during the week. We appreciate y'all reaching out to us, and I'm trying to find. Here it is. Couldn't find the app, but here we go. And some of this stuff is from last week, so. Somebody said, "I love watching baseball this time of year because when we were talking about the the World Series, which is on right now, I'll give y'all an update on that in a little bit. But they said the Dodgers have their hands full with these Blue Jays. They also decided, this is from one of our viewers, Monroe. Bob Gibson's ERA in 1968. Without looking up, Miguel, do you know what it was? Because I feel like you probably do.
I want to say it was 1.16.
You're very close.
Damn. It was in the ones.
Yo, you're very close. It was 1.12. You were a little high.
Okay.
A little high.
So one of the main reasons why I remember that, because there was a story in one of the documentaries that was the year that they raised the mound.
Okay.
So I think that season it was the lowest amount of runs in like 50 years at that point. So,
gotcha. Let's do this. I believe you have one more video for us.
I do.
Does it need to be introed, or can I just go ahead and throw that bad boy in there?
I want you to guess.
Okay, let's take a look then.
Okay. So the only hint that I will give you is that something outrageous is going to happen. Unsportsmanlike.
Okay, well that changes my guess.
Sorry.
When you say unsportsmanlike, it's somebody did something unsportsmanlike, or do you mean it's something happened that's not like
somebody does something?
Okay, because my guess was going to be, and I don't know where I pulled this from. My guess was going to be lightning struck. that was going to be my guess. But you said something unsportsmanlike happened. Somebody does something unsportsmanlike. Somebody runs off the bench and tackles somebody.
Okay. Let's see what happens.
All right, here we go.
We go. You big dummy.
Why the hell would you do that? Why?
You big dummy.
And then he just casually, lightly jogs off the field as if, all right, I ran the play, coach. It didn't work. Like I was expecting to see like an irate coach telling them to get the F off the field, all this stuff, but everybody was just like,
Yeah,
okay,
yeah. There was not like there was no reaction except for by the opposite team, by the opposing
right,
team. They were the only.
yeah.
I would love to know what the intent was in the moment. Obviously, it was like to hurt him, kicking, but was it to? Were you trying to really injure him? I want to know if that was the intention. Also, I want to also let you in on what I thought was going to happen while I was watching it. After the tackle, I thought somebody was going to like drop the elbow on him or something like that.
Well, it
But
was
what happened was
I
like,
was
okay,
a pseudo wrestling move, right?
I was kind of close. That wow, wow. Okay, so the World Series is on right now. The Blue Jays and the Dodgers they're going at it. It's been a really good series. It's tied up 2 games to 2. They had a game. Was it game
Three.
2? 3? It was game 3. We're in
First,
game
it was
5 now, right?
we're at game 5, right?
Well, game 3 went 18 innings. Two games for the price of one. 18 innings in the World Series. Did you stay up for it?
No.
Yeah, me either.
I stayed at the
10,
last
11 innings, but
the last play that I saw, which I believe was early in the extra innings, was the 10th or 11th, was played by um, Ederman. I think it was a line drive right off the first baseman, then it bounced, and I think Vladdy ran around second, going to third, and it was a great bounce throw to third base. And then I was like, I can't stay. I'm too old to stay up for
what inning
10.
was that? Do you remember?
It was late in the game, but I don't remember if it was late 8th or 9th because I watched it until like maybe the 10th inning, 10th or 11th inning. That's when I was like, I can't hang. And come to
I think we tapped out around the same time
right,
because so you obviously saw the play with Otani at second base.
Mhm.
When he got called out, when he tried to steal and was called out.
Mhm.
And then you saw the play at the plate when the Blue Jays, I forgot who it was, but he tried to score. Ball got hit in the right field, and he was out
great,
by 732.
great relay throw. That's how you do the relay.
Great relay throw. I feel like even if it was a bad relay throw, they would have beat him to the plate.
Yeah, he was slow.
The funny thing about it, and the funny thing that stood out to me about that play, the catcher just assumed the play was going to be closer than it was.
Yeah, he put the tag down. He was like, he's not here yet.
Right, right. The catcher was looking for the guy, and he wasn't even there yet. Man, that was a crazy play. But I want to say it was after one of either the Otani play or the other play. I forgot which one came second. That's when I tapped out. I was like, I gotta go to work in the morning. But an update on the game right now: Toronto is up 3-1, and they are in the top of the 7th inning. And Blake Snell
So
is.
I'll put this on the record because I think my prediction was in the text, but I predicted that it would be Toronto in 6 last week.
I didn't make the prediction officially, but I try to be honest. I thought the Dodgers would win in 5, and I'm obviously wrong. I did, however, and it's documented, or I talked to somebody. I did, however, pick the Blue Jays to win the first game. I did pick them to win game 1. But then I thought it'd be a gentleman's sweep after that. And I think, as we were talking before the show, I think part of my reasoning for picking against the Blue Jays is 93. I just think it's hard. It's hard for me to pick the Blue Jays. It's hard for me to pick because I almost feel like me picking them is almost like me rooting for them, and I don't want to. But it's hard for me to pick the Patriots, the Blue Jays, the Lakers, and I haven't had to pick the Astros again. I don't think. No, I don't. I know they haven't won since they beat us. So, and it's hard for me to pick the Yankees too. Like any team I've seen my teams lose to, it's hard for me to pick them. Like last year, I don't know. I don't think I wanted the Yankees to win. I really don't remember. I just don't think I don't think I thought they would win. I don't think they had a chance last year. But with that being said, Miguel, you're stumping me today. We're gonna get that together. You're stumping me that, and I hope it has some. I hope you pick somebody with some pretty good accolades. And you do a pretty good job of picking people within my realm of knowledge. You do pretty well with giving me hints without giving up. But if this is your first time on the Check Swing podcast, what we do is Miguel selects a player that has Philadelphia ties in some way, shape, or form to one of the sports, one of our four majors. Maybe I should say three majors. We never did hockey, did we?
No, I mean I could.
No, you don't have to, because the only number I can remember in hockey is 88. That's the only one I can remember right now.
Gotcha.
Only one I can remember. But normally it's basketball, football, or baseball. They've done a stint in Philadelphia for the most part. For baseball and football, I probably need them to have done a stint in Philadelphia. For basketball, I might be able to expand the knowledge a little bit. But here's what we had. Really, a one-time All-Star. One-time All-Star. ERA title means they had the best ERA one season. Was it their All-Star season?
Sure.
I don't feel confident. Was their All-Star season and ERA title season with the Phillies?
Yes.
Okay, so we're looking at what's that first team? Because I'm gonna get it wrong. Go ahead.
The Atlanta Braves.
Okay, so we're looking at the Braves, the Phillies, the Braves again.
Nope. Cleveland.
Okay, the Braves, the Phillies, Cleveland,
Texas.
Texas. I'm sorry. I'm trying to think. I'm kind of trying to stall a little bit. Texas, Baltimore,
Baltimore, having big fun.
Colorado, and Seattle.
Yes.
And that is the order.
Correct.
Can you give me the like the time frame of the career?
97 to 09, 10.
Were they a starter?
Yes.
97. Okay, give me the teams. It was Braves, Phillies,
Cleveland.
What was that?
Texas.
Braves,
Baltimore.
Phillies, Cleveland, then the Rangers, Baltimore, Colorado, and Seattle. Braves, then Phillies. I feel like I should know this. I do think I know this, but I cannot think of the name. Braves and then Phillies. I cannot think of the name. I feel like I can see the person.
So he pitched at both the Vet and CBP, Citizen Bank Park.
And he was a starter
And he was a starter
for the Braves and the Phillies.
for the Braves and the Phillies.
Starters at that time. No, it's not. It's not one of the big. Came to the Phillies.
And if I give you,
probably had to be excited about it.
I have a feeling if I give you this hint, you might get it or you might not. But
that's usually how it goes.
you want the big hint?
Do you have any smaller hints?
He had terrible hair.
Most of the Phillies did in the 90s.
Yeah. No, I don't have any smaller hints.
All right, go ahead. Give me the big hint.
He threw the last no-hitter at the Vet.
Yo, I know who it is, and I cannot think of the name. Oh, I'm so mad at this one, man. Because I feel like, Braves then Phillies, one-time All-Star. He was an All-Star with the Phillies. Oh, man. Okay. Do me a favor. This might... Nope, it wasn't him. It wasn't Padilla, right?
No.
Give me some of the players that played for the Phillies while he was... I mean, it was Jimmy Rollins, right? Jimmy.
Yes. Jimmy, Bobby Abreu, Doug Glanville, Mike Lee, Doug Glanville, Mike Lieberthal, John Lieber, Randy Wolf.
Was it Randy Wolf?
Why would I say the name if that's no?
Because you will try to throw me off. I know you will.
I will, yeah. No, not Randy Wolf. One more guess.
Phillies. I mean Braves, Phillies, Cleveland. Who went from the Phillies to Cleveland? Can you give me the time frame that he was with the Phillies? It was 97 to
I want to say 2000 to like.
Oh shoot, I'm thinking too early.
Well, he started with the Braves in 97.
But I'm thinking Phillies in 97. I'm sorry.
I want to say if he was with the Phillies from like 2000, 2001 until like they moved into CBP. What was that? 05, 06?
I'm so mad because I can it's like right there. Like I can almost go ahead. Who was it? I'm so mad because who is it?
Kevin Millwood.
Yeah, I'd have been wrong.
Who were you thinking?
I forgot all about Kevin Millwood.
Mm-hmm.
Who was I think? I don't remember who I was thinking of. Like I can't think of the name of the person I was thinking of, but it definitely wasn't Kevin Millwood. So you definitely got me with that one. I think that's 2 weeks in a row you got me?
2 weeks in a row, sir.
I'm going to have to start trying to stump you again. I'm going to have to do that. And I'm going to have to pick Sixers players. Because you stopped watching. So I'm going to just pick guys. I'm going to pick process Sixers like Jeremy Grant and Robert Covington.
Jahlil Okafor.
Once again, I'm forgetting the kid's name that forgot how to shoot. I don't think he may not even be in the league anymore.
How you gonna give me somebody?
Huh?
You gonna give me somebody that you don't even remember?
Yep, I will. I will do that because I'm mad now. You got me 2 weeks in a row. I'll give myself one of these.
You big dummy.
And it is what it is. Well, Miguel got me 2 weeks in a row. We got to see next week if I can come back strong and figure out how he tries to stump me. But I want to thank everybody for hanging out with us here on the Check Swing Podcast, especially through those technical difficulties. I don't know what was going on with the system here. Hopefully we can get it situated. And before you ask, yes, the computer was shut down for a while before. It wasn't just running for days and weeks and months like I used to do with computers. So with that being said, we're going to get up out of here. We appreciate y'all hanging with us here on the Check Swing Podcast. We will talk to y'all next week right here, same place, probably same time. Peace out, y'all.
Until we meet again.
Remember, even if the Cowboys win today, it doesn't mean anything. I don't want you to get your hopes up. They still suck. The more you know.